What's up, investors? It's Mike from MJF Invest. Today's video is going to basically be about what I've been up to lately. I'm reinvigorated. I'm excited again to make content. I took a little bit of a step back the last 6 to 8 weeks, really to absorb and learn and study some new topics, some new ideas, some new strategies, so I could bring them to your attention. And I feel like I have a lot to talk about. I have a lot I want to share, and I'm really excited. But before I get into this video, please smash that like button. An early thumbs up really helps me out with the algorithm. If you're new to the channel, tap that subscribe button. We talk about investing, the bell notification, so you're notified when I upload new content. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. It's up to you to do all your own research, and it's ultimately your decision whether you want to buy any of the stocks or cryptos I talk about on this channel. More recently, I moved about 50% of my portfolio into Bitcoin. I mean, it's one of the only assets I really believe in, right? I mean, I still own my Tesla. I still own my Roku. I still own my Pure Storage. I still own my Invite. But the stocks that I own are my long-term holds, meaning I'm going to hold these stocks for 10 years plus, 15 years. These are my long-term investments, right? I believe that we're going to have a little bit of a tough time in the short term. I think 2021 could be a difficult year for these reasons that I will express throughout the video. So make sure you stick around till the very end. But as an investor and as somebody who's trying to make money, I don't want that just to be like, okay, I'm just going to sit on the sidelines. The market's cyclical. It's going to be yield curves are telling me that growth stocks particularly are going to have a ceiling, right? They're not going to fly all over the place like they have in 2020. So instead of sitting on the sidelines, I want to be proactive. I don't want to give back the money that I made during that crazy bull run of 2020. So I've been doing some studying. I've been looking around, looking at historical data. And the stock market's cyclical, so a bear market is okay. It's normal. But what concerns me is a little bit more than that. With inflation on people's minds, right? Some people don't believe it. Some people do. It's tough to be a retail investor and determine what's factual, right? What's agenda driven. I feel like that's a big concern. So doing your own research, thinking for yourself, coming to your own conclusions is so big in this field. The people who can really be free thinkers, think for themselves, get the information for themselves, and come up with their own strategies are the people that are going to do really well. I look around and I have some concerns, right? I understand, and let me just say this. Technology is deflationary. I understand that. I understand that there's a lot of technology out there that is going to drive the costs down, in certain things. So, it's tough to compare today, to eras where they were using, salt or seashells or rhinestones or fish to barter, right? We live in a sophisticated society, sophisticated systems, the whole financial system, financial relationships, the economy. It's very sophisticated these days, and technology is definitely deflationary. So with that being said, keep that in mind. So I don't want to make anybody feel like, oh my God, the sky is falling. That's not my intent. But my intent is to at least, get people thinking, right? Thinking for yourselves, right? We look around, we see Jerome Powell. He's telling everybody everything's fine, right? Inflation, we're going to hit a little bump in the road at the end of the year, and everything's going to be smooth sailing going forward. And that may be the case. But I also remember Ben Bernanke in 2005, 2006, 2007 saying similar things. And then we know what happened in 2008. We had people jumping off of buildings, the divorce rates went up crazy, right? Like families were destroyed. Financial crisis was tough, right? In that time, Satoshi Nakamoto made that white paper. I really highly suggest everybody read that. I'm a huge Bitcoin bull. If you've been watching any of my work lately, Bitcoin has really been a focal point, especially as a store of value away from fiat currency. I just feel like we're in a period, and I'm going to get into some charts, some screens in a minute to show you, to back some of my theories up, right? Jerome Powell right now is saying, the big number is the consumer PI. You pull that data up, and everything pretty much looks good on all fronts, right? It doesn't really look like inflation 2.6% over the last 12 months. You go, okay, no problem. That seems, realistic or reasonable. Nothing really to worry about. Latest numbers on the CPI for March 2021. Look, only plus 0.6. But what this could be a very tricky number, right? I don't think that the CPI is necessarily a great indicator of inflation. When I look at commodities, right? Look at the commodity prices over the last year. Lumber's up 265%. WTI crude is up 210%. Gasoline up 182%. Brent crude 163%. Heating oil 107%. Corn 84%. Copper 83%. Soybeans 72%. Silver 65%. Sugar 59%. And if you go all the way down, you see gold at 3%, right? So traditionally during times of inflation, gold would have been the store of value. That has been the standard, right? The gold standard. We got off the gold standard though back in 1971. So now basically our fiat currency, which is government printed money, is basically valuable because they say it's valuable, right? So the argument that Bitcoin, like, what is it? It's nothing. Oh, it's digital. It's crap. It's, that makes no sense to me, because what is fiat currency at this point? When I look at a chart like this right here, I pull up a chart like this, and it's what's the dollar's worth, right? What's your dollar worth? And take a look at that. Going back to 1920, look what you can get for, look at the purchasing power. I mean, look, we're way down here now. And in 2020 alone, the U.S. money supply grew $3.8 trillion, which is equal to 20% of all the other dollars that were ever created. So look at our purchasing power down here. And yes, stimulus plays a role in this, but a lot of the money that was printed, of that 20% unpredicted amount that we just printed last year because of the pandemic, just look at this. The money that went into M1 last month alone, just look where we've been down here. Look at April, look at May, look at July, October, and then January, look, 6 billion, whatever. And now, boom, 18 billion. So that money's starting to funnel into the economy, right? That money is starting to come into circulation, and that is going to drive the cost of goods and services up really high. At this point, fiat currency as a whole, not just in the United States, pretty much around the world, has become a medium of exchange. It is the only property or characteristic of money that fiat currency has, right? Money is supposed to have more characteristics, more properties. Money is supposed to be a unit of account. Money is supposed to be a store of value. If you're a saver, what do you do? What are you doing in a time like this, right? Where do you go to store your value, right? That's why I believe Bitcoin is an undeniable asset. And that's why I've been so heavily entrenched in Bitcoin the last couple of months, so much that I haven't even stopped to make a video. So I wanted to make a video today, let you know what I've been up to. Bitcoin obviously is big on my radar, as a store of value for savers, right? To build wealth, as protection against inflation, right? Because remember, if we go back to this, look at gold only went up 3%. Everything else inflated, in gold, which is traditionally the hedge against inflation, only raised 3%. So, that makes Bitcoin, that's a strong case for Bitcoin, in my opinion. We're talking about inflation and in the debasement of the US dollar, because that's what I believe is going on right now. Based on that chart, we're losing purchasing power every day. As I'm watching this video, we're losing purchasing power, right? I can make the argument, people will sit there and say, real estate is a good store of value, but look around. Is the value of your home really gone up that much in the last 6 months? Have you gained? Is your home 30% more valuable over the last 6 months, or is it more of this? So these The CPI, yes, it says it's 2%, but what is inflation? Inflation for who? Because if you're trying to buy a house, inflation is more than 2%, right? If you're a contractor building houses, you know, like my day job, you know, your inflation is more than 2%. Look at lumber, 265%. You know, so I don't buy those numbers, and I'm a little bit worried, and I want to be hedged, right? I want to be a saver, right? I want to be hedged, and I believe Bitcoin is the ultimate insurance policy. I really think it's early in the game, and I really believe that we have a great opportunity as retail investors to get in here, right? You could look at some of the headlines. The incumbents, they're not taking this nearly seriously enough. You know, this is disruptive. This is the most disruptive innovation ever. I guarantee it. The earth is going to move underneath them. So as retail investors, we have a great opportunity. When the internet came along, the internet came along, people didn't have the opportunity to invest into the protocols that the internet was built on, right? They didn't have the ability to invest in the technology that tomorrow's enterprise applications are going to be built on. If I could paint a picture for you, you could basically invest in the technology that something like Facebook can be built on today, if that makes any sense. So that's why it's so exciting. That's why this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I am not going to let it pass me by. So I really think it's important. This is not only going to be solely a crypto channel. So if you watch my videos in the past and you're like, oh, great, he's only talking about Bitcoin and crypto, you know, don't unsubscribe. I'm going to continue to talk about stocks. I'm going to continue to talk about opportunities. That's really what this channel is. I'm looking for big opportunities to present and to capitalize on. Just right now in the moment, I believe that it's in crypto. So I wanted to add that, you know, to the channel. So if you're new, I also talk about stocks, you know, and if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I really hope you found something of value in the video. Please let me know what you think. Drop a comment below. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe for future content.